Oh, ladies and gentlemen, it is your boys. So touch it up forward and my brother.
So Lex.
It's been a minute since we've been on the airwaves with the King and I Life podcast, but we're gonna bring one to you. We're gonna have a fluid conversation, discussion, whatever you want to call it, and let the chips fall wherever they may.
For
So
sure.
let's talk about Diddy first.
All right. So as everyone knows, Diddy has been going down through there, as they say.
Mm,
Diddy got some problems, cuz he got some problems. I'm not talking
mm,
small problems either. He got them the major problems.
yeah.
But anyway, with all the allegations flying around of him more or less uh, throwing these freak off parties and
Mm,
supposedly importing um, both male and female.
mm,
allegedly,
mm.
some underage, um, some being drugged, but again, these are all allegations. We don't know for sure.
You know, I watch Vlad all the time, and Dion Cole was on there. For those who don't know, comedian, worked with Conan O'Brien, has new special on Netflix, this, that, and other, and he described it as billionaire behavior.
Hmm.
Now, with that being said, I don't, for the life of me, understand why these jokers think they could just do anything and everything and just it be okay. Like, has money corrupted your brain that bad? Power corrupted your brain that bad that you feel you could just go out there and do any damn thing and act like you are untouchable? Like, I don't get it. Somebody please help me understand the foolery here.
I think it's one of those things. And again, I don't know if the man did it or if maybe he did. I don't know. But the thing is, when you get to a certain level in life, especially the heights that Diddy has gotten to, and plus you run into those type of circles where people have that kind of money, where money make problems go away. Of course, you're gonna get to a place where you feel comfortable um, doing the things that you do. Like
Mm,
when the whole video came out of him attacking his girlfriend there. I'm not gonna say any names, but we all know who that is. Um, I was like, oh my God, that is crazy. Like for him to be at the status that he's at and allow himself to be caught up in a situation like that, I just thought that was more than crazy. Like that's preposterous.
you ain't gonna say no names, but I'm gonna say names. He should not have put his hands on Cassie like that. And the reason why I'm going to say names is because I do not think with every fiber in my being that a victim should be silenced. Um, that's just how I feel, regardless of who it is. And the thing about it, it's out there. It's not alleged. She said he did it. He lied. Video came out. He gave this weak ass apology. So nah, I'm gonna say her name because it needs to be said. And my thing about all the rest of that stuff, if as a man you can beat a woman to the ground like that, drag her around, kick her around, and throw stuff at her. Just me looking at that, I'm gonna say 8 times out of 10, the rest of that stuff is true. A lot of it may be exaggerated. However, you opened yourself up to that, and I don't care what any. I'm not going with the court of public opinion. I'm just looking at your behavior, and then I think the more troubling thing about that for me is um all the people that were in his circle around him and allowing that. You know, nobody
Yeah.
said nothing until now. Now everybody want to chirp like birds. It's like, yo, it's too late for all that.
Um, Again, based off the video again, I cannot defend a man, whether he is in his right mind or under the influence of drugs, whatever the case may be, you're wrong. Do I believe she deserved that type of treatment? No. But the thing is, uh, and again, not for Diddy, not against her. When you put yourself in a position like that, you have to know when it's time to leave. And, all praises to her because she did eventually get out. But the first sign of something like that, I'm gone, you know. So again, not attacking her or saying she was wrong. I'm just saying when you're in a position like that, you have to get the hell out as soon as possible. And based off that video, that's not the first time that situation happened. Like with abusers, it goes on and on. It just continues to get worse. Like it starts off with a light slap or a harsh word or something along that line. But um, I don't know. With money, people tend to overlook their abusers in some cases. I'm not saying every cases, but some cases they just put up with it because he got that bread like that. But again, I take my hat off to her for eventually getting away from her in that situation. She was smart enough to file a lawsuit, which uh, enabled her to get a check, as they say. But even the emotional scars can never erase what has happened to her. So I don't give a damn how big the check is. Those emotional scars and situations and dilemmas are still there.
Yeah. The only thing is, I don't think everyone is equipped mentally, physically, or financially to leave some of these situations, and that's one thing that has to be taken into consideration. You know, us being men, it's probably easier for us to say at the first sign of this, that, and the other, just leave. A lot of women, for whatever reason, they're just not equipped to do that, whether it be emotionally, financially. You never know. He could have been holding something over her head and said, if you leave me, I'm gonna expose you, do this, that, and the other. And it takes time for people to just leave those situations. So I mean, I'm glad she left, whenever she had the ability to do so. But at the end of the day, I would have preferred for him, one, either not be that way, or two, the people around him check him on that behavior, because I don't know. Me being a man, if I was hired by someone uh to be their security or whatever the case may be, and I saw behavior like that, I could not sit back and allow that. Like, I think I would put hands on him, and I would just take that L, whether I lost my job or whatever. I just can't sit back and watch a man beat down a woman, and it could have been several women or whatever the case. I could not sit back and see that. I could not let that happen, not on my watch.
No, no, definitely not. Definitely not. Again, I think the situation with again his ex-girlfriend. Um, I'm sure there were times when she thought about leaving. She may have even left uh, a few times. Maybe he tracked her down. Maybe he, like you said, held something over her head. Said, if you try to leave, this is what's going to happen to people you care about. You
Mm.
just never know, when it comes down to people with money, man, they can make things happen behind the scenes, as they say, meaning they have people in place that, again, make problems either happen or make problems go away. So you just never know. Um, Again, I think with his ex-girlfriend, she got to a place where enough was enough. I think that's what it came down to, where she was like, I don't give a what you have over my head or what you're going to do to, people I care about. I can't stay in this situation, which is very detrimental to my future. So
Hmm.
again, I take my hat off to her because a lot of women and people in abusive relationships, they don't make it out, unfortunately,
Right.
men and women.
Yeah.
So good for her.
Yeah. I mean, ideally, you would prefer for things like that to not go on, but unfortunately, this is the way of the way people operate these days, and yeah, it's the way people operate, and it's just unfortunate because it shouldn't have to be that way. People people jump on this power trip, and that tends to rule their brains and stuff, and they think that for whatever reason um there's no accountability.
Sorry about that. Got an incoming call, but and that's it. Again, when they're in situations like that where they don't have to take accountability for anything that they do, again, they'll just write a check or send people who are on their payroll to take care of the situation. Then they start growing into this place of comfortability of doing whatever in the world they want to do to whoever they want to do it to.
Hmm.
Um, it's it's no mystery. Diddy is a billionaire, with all the companies and uh, publishing rights and music rights and all that stuff that he has. He's a billionaire. Let's be honest about it. So again, when you run in a circle with other billionaires and people who are close to that status, again, they get to a place where they see their friends get in situations like that, and they're like, well, this is the person you need to call to take care of this. This person you need to call to take care of that. And they're like, oh, okay. So they get to a place again where they're comfortable with getting away with this type of nonsense. So again, I just think that Diddy got to a place where he was like, I can do whatever I want whenever I want.
Yeah. um yeah, it's just unfortunate. And hopefully, I mean, justice will be served as appropriate. um I think the other thing that bothers me about that overall is how many people are still standing behind him. Some behaviors are just like inexcusable, and that's one of them. I don't care who you are. um it's just inexcusable. And the fact that he's in the position that he's in, it makes it more inexcusable to me, because you cannot there's no justification for that. And I know, you know mainly people who are, religious minded, this, that, and other. Oh, he needs prayer, he needs forgiveness, he needs grace. No, he knew exactly what he was doing every time he was doing it. Like, there's no excuse for it. So he needs to be dealt with. Whatever, legal ramifications there are, he needs to be dealt with. Period. That's just my take on it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. The thing that kind of haunt me about the whole situation, though, is the way the feds came to each one of his homes all at the same time. Again, feds don't show up until they got something that's really going to take you down. And I mean, they ain't talking about 1 or 2 years. They trying to get you that life or even death in some situations if they can. So I just found it to be kind of crazy how they did that. But those are their tactics. But one thing that again that haunts me about the whole situation is you hit each one of his houses, but you knew he wasn't there. You knew he wasn't at any one of those houses, So basically, you're just going in to collect evidence, as they say. So while you up here, at these houses, they got all the media out here, showing he got this, that, and that, and the other, but you're not arresting him. Shortly after that, supposedly, he had a meeting with them and his attorney, and he walked out. So anyway, I just find situations like that um, kind of crazy, where they make sure they smear your name first. So,
I
but
have
again, when you're in that type of situation, that comes along with it.
I have no problem with that. My thing is, if you don't do nothing, you ain't got nothing to worry about. Um, as an adult, as a business person, as a person who knows people who do dirt in the streets and know how law enforcement works, you know better. Um, and when you know better, you do better. Uh, I just think he felt like he was just that untouchable that it wouldn't happen to him. Um, of course they knew he wasn't at home. But the thing about it is, we need to hit these houses. We need to collect this evidence. And yeah, we might hit one house, but don't know who's in the other one. You know, somebody can send word, hey, they busting in the house doing this, that, and the other. And if they're not at the other house, oh yo, let's get rid of this, that, and the other. So that's the way they operate. There's no way around that. Every time they do a raid, they going to hit everything that's in your name or that you're associated with. Um, it's just common knowledge and common sense. But again, if you don't do dirt, you don't have to worry about things like that happening. Like, yes, and they wait until they have enough evidence to bury you, because you don't want a situation like in Atlanta with Young Thug where, they ran in all, rounding up everybody doing this, that, and the other. And I think bro out of jail now, or about to get out of jail. So it is what it is. And as far as him, going in, meeting with the lawyer, this, that, and the other, that's just, the legal, that's how that thing works. You go in there, you have a conversation, you leave out, the next thing you know, you're arrested and you ain't getting bail. Uh and I know a lot of people have talked about, well, damn, they denied him bail. That's messed up, this, that, and the other. Nah, it's not messed up. You're a flight risk. You are a whole flight risk. You did all this dirt and you could pull a Russell Simmons and bounce to a country where there's no extradition. So, I mean, it is what it is to me.
I follow everything you're saying, and I agree with that. I can't dispute anything. I'm just looking at it like this, right? If you Diddy and you know they got some stuff on you, meaning evidence, like you have all access to leave whenever you want to, because you see it coming down the line. You know what I mean? You see it a mile away. You know that they got dirt on you. I I don't know. If I had the type of resources he has, ain't no way in hell I'm finna stay. I'm like
Mm.
Russell. I'm bouncing, son. I'm bouncing. But hey, that's Diddy, and I'm sure he was listening to the advice of his legal aid. But if I knew I had done did some stuff like that, I'm gone. That's all I'm saying. I'm gone.
I hear you. And like I said, I watch Vlad all the time. He says that all the time. If I knew this was going to happen and I had the money, this, that, and the other, I would just leave the country. The problem with that, and trust me, I get it. If I did some dirt and I knew something was going to pop off, I would leave the country too. But the problem with that is, let's just say a person does something horrific, rapes somebody, kills somebody, this, that, and other. They know the police is coming after them, and they got 24 hours to get out of Dodge, and they hop on the first thing smoking to another country. Then what? Let's just say, this happened to someone that you're related to, somebody that you care about. They was harmed by somebody, and this person had the resource to get out of Dodge. This person gone, no justice for that person. But I get it. but again, I'm not putting myself in a position to where or situation to where it's like I do all this dirt, this, that, and the other, and I know I'm gonna get in trouble, so I'm a bounce before they get me. I'm not doing that. I don't know. I mean, but you know, everybody has their thing.
I'm just saying. I'm
I
just
get it.
saying what my thought process is.
I
Again,
get it.
if I'm Diddy and I know I done did some shit,
I get it.
I'm gone. But for whatever reason, he stayed. Maybe he again kept felt comfortable with thinking he could get away with it again. And no, bro. What's the Fed conviction rate? Isn't it like 98%? Some crazy is in the high
80,
90s.
80, 80, 90% something like that. But again,
Yeah, like
if you don't
I'm not messing with that.
you don't put your if you don't put yourself in them situations, you got nothing to worry about. So I
Right.
mean, I did, but again, it goes back to what I said. Why put yourself in those situations? It's like you have enough money to do whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want. Why beat up on people? Why do that? Why treat people that way? It makes it, that goes back to it. Well, not goes back to it goes to the point of black people do not know how to act when they hit it big or they they have the ability to do certain things. A lot of black people just don't know how to act. And it's like, dude, all you got to do is do right by people, keep your head low, grow your money, and rock out. That's it. There are so many women, men, or whatever, who are willing to entertain your fetishes and your fantasies. Why do you have to sit there and do all the extra dumb shit?
Yeah, and that'd be the part. Um, Going back to one of his ex-girlfriends, let's not overlook that, with the allegation that she may have um, crossed over um, behind some actions that Diddy initiated.
Mm,
Um, so that was a big investigation. Nothing came of it, but maybe that may also be a part of this situation he has going on now. Like that's another charge.
mm,
You ain't be no murder rap, son. Not with the feds.
mm,
Hell no. But
mm,
anyway, when you're in that type of situation, again, when you have money like that and you're so accustomed to getting away with what you feel you want to, it's only a matter of time before all that stuff catches up to you. It's only a
it's
matter
only a
of
matter of
time.
time.
Because all it takes is one person close to you that get caught up in some shit. And the next thing you know, well, I give you Diddy if you let me out of this. So again, like with what's his name, Little Dirk, I think it is. One of his partners, one that he looked out for and took care of, and all that was wearing a wire around him for 2 years straight,
Mm.
allegedly. So now that's why he's caught up with that ongoing investigation of a murder charge. But dude, just it blows my mind that people actually still think they can get away with shit like that. And some do
Yeah,
now. Some do. Let's not get it twisted. Some do.
it is
Um,
mind blowing.
but
It
this
is
situation with
truly
Diddy,
mind blowing.
I think it's a wrap, bro. I don't see him walking away from this.
I don't
Not at
either,
all.
and I don't feel sorry for him. Quite honestly, I do not.
No, I don't feel sorry for him. I feel sorry for the people that he was helping. And when I say helping,
Mm,
I mean the businesses that he owned, the organizations that he was more or less supporting financially, all the charities he was involved with, all the communities that he helped over the years. Like all that goes away now.
Yeah.
There is no more of that. And again, I'm not um, siding with Diddy. I'm just simply saying those things that he's done over the years, you can't take that away from him. Those were good things,
Mm.
but behind closed doors, he was doing things he shouldn't have been doing. So you gotta take that with it, boom.
So when you look at it like that,
Yeah,
um, you can't take away from what he did. He did good things, this, that, and the other. Do you separate the good things from all of that nonsense that he was doing?
I do.
Mm.
And the reason why I look at it like this is, again, all those good things that he did, all those people that he helped, you can't take that away from him. Although he was a
Mm.
bad person behind closed doors, those people still receive that help from him,
Mm-hmm.
whether that's a cover or not. He still
Mm.
did that. So I can't take that away from him. But again, at the end of the day, with these charges and allegations, if he's found guilty, then so be it. But it's just a shame that you're no longer going to be able to help people the way you were, whether that
Mm-hmm.
be, coming from a sincere place, or if you're just doing that as a part of your cover image.
I'm kind of I don't know. I think I'm kind of torn with that aspect of it because
Hmm.
yeah, you helped a lot of people. You did this, that, and the other, donations, whatever, whatever, whatever. But was it done in good faith, or was it done with an ulterior motive? And what I mean by that is, we know oftentimes high profile people, celebrities, whatever, whatever, they do things so that they look good in the public eye, knowing damn well they're doing a lot of dirt behind the scenes. And
All right.
what happens is they do those things to curry favor in the public eye. You grimy. You grimy, but you're doing all of this stuff to say, well, you say I did this and I got accused of this, but look at all the good I did over here and I helped this and I helped that. And it's like, to me, that's disingenuous because it's like, yes, you did good deeds, but were they from your heart, or was that to present yourself in a good light? That's the problem I have with it.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Um, I'll say the one person who really had me fooled back when I was younger was the Reverend Jesse Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when that big scandal happened of he's up here counseling, Bill Clinton through his scandal, but yet and
Mm.
still you got a whole baby outside of your marriage and you supposed to be,
Mm-hmm.
all into the church, the good reverend. As they
Mm.
say, you got a whole nother family, bro, basically with your side chick. And again, I know that that's something that happens with a lot of high power profile men and
Mm-hmm.
women. But I don't know, it just that right there threw me off
Mm.
religion to a certain degree. And
Mm-hmm.
again, I know that each man is only just that, or man or woman. We're all human at the end of the day, um, depending on how you want to look at it.
Okay.
But again, no human being is without flaws. So it just, for me, whatever position you're in and you're doing some shit like this behind the scenes, that's just crazy to me. You're basically living a double life in a sense.
It's nuts.
So on one hand you got the angel, on the other hand you got the devil. But
Yeah.
You're
It's
letting the
nuts.
devil, yeah, get the best of you. Because again, like they say, what goes on in the dark eventually comes to the light. And I
Yeah.
think that's what happened to Diddy in this situation.
Yeah. It happens to so many.
Yeah, true that.
So many. And it's like it, for me, it's like at what point do you learn that you are not always going to get away with something? Like somebody has done this before you. You may have found elaborate ways to do it because you have more means and you surround yourself with a certain type of people and you manipulate this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, somebody has done this before. It's just like when we look at our kids. It's like your child will do something and they'll act like you was never a child. Or they act like you don't understand. It's like, bruh, I did that before. You're only trying to do it different. All you're doing is your BS is evolving with time from when I did it. That's the only difference. But eventually you're gonna get caught. Period.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of time they give him.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the only question that's
yeah,
left is what kind of time you're going to give him. Because up here saying, if he gets off, I don't see that happening. That to me is just not a possibility. Crazy things have happened, but again, we're talking about the feds.
mm,
If it was some local shit, yeah, yeah, you got that, Diddy. Run with it.
mm,
Diddy run his city. But
mm.
feds, no, no. You going nowhere. Again, the only question is how much time they're going to give you.
Yeah.
Mm,
I think they're gonna hit him with a brick.
yeah, yeah.
And I'm curious of who the hell he's gonna try to take down with him.
That's a good question. That's a good question. Who will Diddy take down with them? Because Diddy is
Because
like, everybody know Diddy. Diddy got a picture with every dang celebrity out there, if you above a certain grade. A lot of
yeah,
people,
yeah.
been to his parties too. Allegedly,
Yeah.
Diddy had cameras rolling in every room, bruh.
Mm,
So, you know, uh, yeah, Your Honor, I got you on tape, bruh.
yeah.
I got you on tape, so you better be
Mm,
pulling some strings, or your ass is coming down with me.
yeah.
So that's crazy.
That's what it's gonna be. That is what
Yeah,
it's gonna be.
yeah, yeah.
Mm,
Yeah, he ran in some very powerful circles though. But the crazy part about that is, as even as big and as wealthy as Diddy is, in those certain circles, he's the lowest man on the totem pole.
true.
So that's gonna be interesting too to see what else, what other kind of tricks he got in his bag. Because
Mm,
again, I'm looking at it as you had the opportunity to get the hell out of here. You had the opportunity to go to another country where you couldn't be extradited, but you stayed.
mm,
So if you stayed, that must mean you got a trick up your sleeve. You must know something. But again, that's all speculation. You know what I mean?
yeah. I speculate that he shouldn't have got his dumb ass in that situation. And I'm sticking to that. The thing for me though, overall, when it comes to that, I don't have room for the BS excuses and reasoning and logic because it's like right is right and wrong is wrong. And you know damn well you was dead ass wrong. So
Right.
again, I don't understand why you would put yourself in a situation like that. And that just goes across the board because it's like damn well you would not want anyone close to you to be treated like that. Period. I don't care what your tax bracket is. You know damn well you don't want anyone close to you treated like that. So why would you treat anyone like that? It's just that simple for me. That simple.
That it is. I mean, Diddy, he has kids, but he has daughters, along with his sons. So would you want someone to treat one of your daughters like that? So
Exactly.
why treat someone else's daughter like that? Just that's bananas.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
But all right. So that's the end of the Diddy situation. Those are just our 2 cents. Um, again, feel free to chime in and leave your comments in the comment section. We're not closed-minded, as they say. But anyway, X one to the next one. So now at
Pretty
this
much.
portion of the show, we're going to switch to the great election.
Here we go. Here we go.
The great election of 2024, 2025, however you want to look at it.
Mm.
Um, it's no secret. We got Donald Trump on the Republican side, and um, what's her name?
Kamala Harris. Get it right, everybody.
Yeah,
Get it
yeah.
right. Get it right. I
I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing.
yeah, I know you are, but I take it personal when people purposely, mispronounce her name. I take it personal for a couple of reasons. One of the reasons is because my entire life people have mispronounced my name. I give people wiggle room if they don't know, if they've never said my name before. Okay, cool. But it's deeper than that for me. Um, and you'll probably relate to this.
Mhm.
This goes back centuries to where they drag people out their native countries or whatever the case may be. Um, you know, they rename people because they couldn't say their names or because they were oppressed and they wanted to call them this, that, and the other. And I'm not only talking about slavery. I'm just talking about any so any situation of oppression. It could be domestic violence. It could be the prison situation. It could be whatever the case may be. For you to blatantly call someone else a name that is not theirs or just blatantly mess up their names, I think that's just highly disrespectful on so many levels.
Yeah, it is. I think Miss Harris or Mrs. Harris, um, she's paid a great cost to be in the position she's in, um, as well as anyone who, is that high up on the Democratic food chain. But a lot of people, I think, are taking things above and beyond what they need to be. Um,
That's an understatement.
yeah, I think that goes on both sides, though. Again, you guys who know me, I'm not for either party. Um, I'm not a voter, as they say, but I am a supporter, meaning I support the people who feel they want to vote. If you feel it in your heart or your soul or in your mind, whatever it is, if that's what you want to do, then you should do that. I also feel that when it comes down to complaining, as someone who doesn't vote, I think it's okay to complain. But at the end of the day, you can't blame anyone else other than yourself. Meaning, because if you didn't vote, you're just, throwing your complaints to deaf ears. But I do feel that people can have an opinion, which is something in my eyes is different. Um, it's kind of like picking a different religion, right? There are so many different religions out there. I can give you my opinion on the different religions, the ones that I know about. But the ones that I don't know about, I really can't give you an opinion on it because I don't have any information on it that's credible.
Hmm.
And that's the way I look at politics. I can give you my opinion on it, but I can't really get into my feelings about it because complaining about the situation, it's not going to help me. It's not going to help anyone else. Again, I didn't vote. So whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, and I like that you put it that way. And it has to be respected that you put it that way because I personally like I would like for everyone to vote and participate, but at the same time, if you're not a voter and you're just okay with whatever the outcome is, okay, cool. And like you said, if you don't vote and you complain, and your complaints are falling on deaf ears because you did nothing either way. And I think that's the important part about it. Like I back in the day, I used to get mad at people when I first started voting. I used to get mad at people that didn't vote, especially people that look like us because of what we had to go through to be able to vote. But at the end of the day, it's like you know, if neither one of them move you, then neither one of them move you. Um, but I think the important part about it is um, I don't like when people who don't vote make every excuse in the world other than a factual, logical reason to not vote. If you just don't vote because you don't support either candidate, whatever the case may be, and it's just not for you, oh cool. Okay, cool. But what I do not like is people who have half-ass information and they like to say, well, this person this and this person that and this person that, and half of what they saying is just straight BS. It's like I would rather you just say, I don't support this person, so I'm not going to vote for this person, or I don't support neither one of them, so I'm not going to vote. I'm cool with that, but just don't come up with a whole bunch of stupid ass excuses or logic to justify your reason for not voting. I mean, just say I don't support either candidate, either party. Let's just say either party, so I'm not voting. I'm good with that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm the type like this again. Um, as you all know, I'm from Alabama. I'm an Alabama fan. Roll Tide. But certain members of my family, they're Auburn fans. So it's kind of like, for me, although I'm not an Auburn fan, I'm not going to go against them just because they're Auburn. They still from
Right.
Alabama. I'm not going to bash either party because I think both parties have their good suits and they have their, not so good suits. Um, I've looked at both candidates, and again, I'm not a fan of either one. So I think I retain that right as an
Right.
American citizen not to vote for either one. But I'm not going to sit up here and bash Mrs. Harris. I'm not going to bash Donald Trump. Again, I've looked at both of them, and for the most part, they both have things that I like about them and some things that I don't like about them. Again,
Mm.
I'm not Republican or Democrat. But at the end of the day, again, I cannot sit up here and complain about, uh, they're not doing this or they're not doing that, or they need to do more of this, they need to do more of that. No, that's not my disposition. All the people who are going to vote Republican, I wish them well. All the people who are going to vote Democrat, I wish you well too. I hope, whoever you select, I hope they win. uh, so that could be either one. Um, but again, I just don't sit back and dedicate my time to, again, bashing either person because at the end of the day, they're both human. Um, again, I think whoever's going to get in there will get in there. Hopefully, it's not
Mm,
cause something crazy happened behind the scenes. I hope that each person that votes, their vote counts or counted towards whoever
right.
gets into the White House next. But again, I just feel that being all emotional because my candidate um, didn't get it is again falling on deaf ears. Again, you're entitled to your opinion. You're entitled to feel the way you feel. You're entitled to complain, as they say. But the results are the results. Well, let's just hope and pray, for our nation. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I mean, it can be that cut and dry as you put it, because most of the times it is. But the bigger problem um is people are going to put their emotions in it. People are going to put their emotions in it for various reasons. I think I think it is upsetting that most of the emotions that are being displayed are the hateful ones. And when I say that, it's mainly those people who support Trump.
Hmm.
Um, they're just being over the top. And I'm not going to say that's every Trump supporter. I'm not going to say that.
Right.
I would be wrong to say that. But when every news organization, whether it's national, local, or independent, when that's what they're focusing on and that's what they're promoting so much, it just disgusts me that the people who support him, those however many, are that outrageous. Um, because at the end of the day, it's really not that damn serious. It's either you support him or you don't. You like his views or you don't. You like her views or you don't. You want a man to be president or you want a woman being president. You want an old white man being president, which has happened majority of the history of this country, or you want to change, you want a woman of color to be president. Um, but to attack the way they do, and I'm just going to put it like this: for all of these people to attack a woman of color the way that they have been attacking her is just, it's appalling to me.
Yeah, I totally get that. Um, the way I look at it is like this, right? There are gonna be some people who's gonna vote for her just because she's a female. There's gonna be some people who gonna vote for her because of her race. There are gonna be some people vote for her because she's from, their home state. There's gonna be people who vote for her because they like the look of her. I mean, there are all kind of reasons why people vote. Um, I just hope somewhere in there somebody goes and looks at both parties' policies that they want to implement. Like, where do they stand on certain issues, meaning the war that's going on in Afghanistan or whatever that is over there in the Middle East? Um, where do they stand? Like, what do they generally bring to the table to help the American people? Because the thing is, right now, our economy is trash.
Mm,
I don't give a damn how you look at it. If you're not in that upper escalade or upper level when it comes down to money, the average family out here is struggling. Like, I make damn good money, not bragging, but even I find some things I have to, tighten up my spending on. Like, there's some things, that I could indulge on that I just refuse to indulge on because the economy is just it's in rough shape right now. But I think the thing is people really have to stop and take into account what direction each one of these candidates want to take our country in as a whole. And I'm not just talking for a few, but a whole. And if your candidate can't do it for everybody, then you might want to reconsider.
Hmm. Hmm. I'm gonna touch on that part that you said
All
about
right,
take on everybody as a whole. But before I get into that, I want to ask you a question.
go ahead.
Even though you don't care either way,
Right.
do you think you were better off under Obama, Trump, or Biden?
Oh, wow. Good question. Um, I can definitely take Biden off the table. Like that's automatic X right there. Um, Under Obama and Trump, I think it would be a neck and neck, to be
Mm,
honest. I was doing well under both administrations. Um, but under Biden, I think, again, our economy is just, it's bad, man. It's in bad shape. I've seen people, who were doing better than I was doing or am doing that aren't looking so great right now, for whatever
mm,
reason. Um, but yeah, I would definitely X out Biden and Obama and Trump. I did well under both of their administrations.
okay. So here's the reason why I asked that question.
All
Because,
right.
I made a Facebook post the other day talking about the economy, whatever, whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
I hear a lot of people say that they were better off under Trump. Um, but I challenge everyone to pull out their tax returns for the last 15 years and look at how much of your money came out for taxes. Look at what your take home pay was after your taxes were taken out. I do pretty good. And I can tell you over the last 15 years, every time I look at my weekly paycheck, my biweekly paycheck, and I look at my W 2s at the end of the year, for the last 15 years, I am sitting there looking at them jokers like, what in the entire fuck? And I say that because I'll say for the last 8 years, I probably either made close to six figures or over six figures.
Mm-hmm.
And it blows my mind that they are taking between $15 and $20,000 for taxes out of my checks, out of my income for a year. It blows my mind that that happens, and everyone says, "Oh, under Trump it was better," and it's like, well, he gave tax breaks to the billionaires and stuff like that. I did not see a tax break under Trump at all, at all. And then, when you talk about the cost of living, the cost of this, the cost of that, like I said in the post that I made the other day, unless gas prices go back to 99 cents back when I started driving for the first time, I don't want to hear that nonsense. I don't want to hear it. Unless a dozen of eggs is going back to under $1 and a loaf of bread, I don't want to hear it. A gallon of milk, unless that's going back to $1 something, a gallon of milk going back to $1 something. I really don't want to hear that mess, because the one thing that we need to understand about the economy is inflation is going to always happen. Um, I don't care if they say it's down 2%, up 3%, or remain steady. Inflation is always going up, and it's not going to dip back down to a certain level to where things are very cheap like they used to be. It's impossible. Um, so that's how I see that. And a lot of these things are not going to go back down to uh, a amount that is affordable for the person with the lowest income. It's impossible. They're not even trying to raise the minimum wage. And it's like, how far can you raise the minimum wage without someone complaining, oh, wages are too high and companies are going out of business, this, that, and other? Where's that going to happen?
I totally agree with you. I don't see things coming back down to a normal
Yeah, right. A
level,
normal, like really.
level, if you will. I think that there have been things that happen over the course of some years now. One major thing that happened was COVID, and it dang near shut our whole economy down. Dang near. Didn't shut it
The
all the
whole
way
world, the
down,
world
but
economy. Then.
yeah, true. So the cost of everything has gone up. Everything. I don't give a damn if it's, your utilities, to your trash fees, to food, vehicles. I think vehicles, they just got crazy with that shit. But
Hmm.
anything other than that, man, it just, again, the longer you stay here on this earth, everything's gonna keep going up.
It's a given. It's a given.
Yeah, so I mean, I would love for things to come back down, but again, I'm not going to hold my breath on it. So
Right.
I think the only way around that is you got to make more money. Unfortunately, um, I've known some people, like with my company, it used to be they'll start you off in between 15 and maybe $18 an hour. Now they
Hmm.
starting people off at like damn 23 plus an
Mm.
hour, which back when I first came on, you like 23, what? But
Yeah. Right.
but now, yeah, it's rough out here, bro. It's rough out here, even for the people who make great money. You can make great money, but you got to be smart with it. You can't be flamboyant. You can't be wasteful. You can't do any of that dumb stuff you used to do. But again, I can't put it on Biden solely. I just think the world has changed. You know, there
Mm.
are other things that have happened to cause our economy to go in the tank, as they say. So I think blaming him solely for that, I think you'll be wrong to do that. Um,
Yeah.
it's
Um. The crazy thing about it is, you mentioned the cost of vehicles. Um. Yes, vehicles are expensive as hell these days, but um, I think just to jump out the gate, I
right.
think people ignore the fact that um, vehicles are expensive because the processes and technologies and everything else is changing. I think people try to conveniently ignore that. Um, and that has to be taken into consideration. Like our cars these days are like big ass goddamn computers, you know, and all the
Right.
technology and this, that, and the other that's in these cars is light years away from what it used to be. Um, are there other factors in there? Of course, there's other factors in there, but I think people really need to take an honest look at, you know, how far things are going, and that factors into everything that happens. It just cannot be ignored.
No, it definitely can't. And again, like you said, you have to take technology into consideration. My only concerns with the auto industry is you're basically you're getting a more advanced vehicle, but the quality is definitely not there like it used to be. I don't give a damn if you're Toyota to Nissan to Chevy to whatever. The quality is
Hmm.
just not there. Um, and if you go trying to buy certain vehicles that used to be maybe 30, between 30, maybe 50 some thousand now, that vehicle's 100 some thousand. Like if
Yeah.
you want a brand new truck now, 100 G's.
You talking
Like,
about a pickup or SUV?
yeah,
What we talking about right here?
certain SUVs are over 100,000 now. Like
Bruh, you ain't
the
lying, because what is it? the Jeep Grand Wagoneer,
Yeah.
the Dodge Durango Trailhawk, Cadillac Escalade, Ford Expedition. Yeah.
100. You lucky if you walk out with maybe like 105. That's the low
Yeah.
side. Like
Yeah.
that's crazy to me. I
Yeah.
can't. I mean, and again, I'm not bragging about my pay. I have the means to do that if I wanted to, but I'm not finna spend that kind of goddamn money on a vehicle where I still have to provide the maintenance. I still got to provide the insurance. I still got to provide the damn gas in this motherfucker. All the upkeep on this damn vehicle, I still have to, do that on the outside of what the warranty may cover. And, that's only going to last for so many years. But to spend that kind of money, basically the cost of what used to be a house on a vehicle?
Mm.
No, bro, I got way
Yeah.
more sense than that. I'm not gonna do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But I was looking at this one video on
Um.
YouTube, and they were just doing these employees. I think they were at a Chevy dealership, and they were
Mm.
just asking everybody, what's your cost of your vehicle? Um, and I think the lowest one was like 875 a month.
A car note?
Car note,
What the hell kind of car was
875.
that?
They didn't state what kind of vehicles they were. They
Mm.
just was stating how much they had to pay a month. And I'm like, I remember when 500 at one time would have been considered a lot. But now
Yeah.
500 is like a drop in the bucket, bro.
Mm.
So again, if someone,
For
and I'm
you,
not
you
not
talking about for a brand new car?
for a brand new car. Um, again, I'm not knocking anyone who chooses to buy a brand new car. If it's in your means right now, then go for it. More blessing
Yeah.
and power to you. But um, again, speaking for myself personally, I can't see myself spending that kind of money on a vehicle. Like $100,000. If I'm gonna put $100,000 on anything, it's gonna be towards savings or towards my son's education or something towards his future.
Mm.
But on a vehicle that I can pull out of my driveway and go up the road and somebody hit me and it's total,
Mm.
no, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah. Um. You know, another thing that um they complain back and forth about is jobs, and how many jobs were lost and gained during whatever presidency, this, that, and the other. Um, I think that's a stupid discussion and argument to me.
Hmm.
Um, because at the end of the day, if it was that damn serious, um, you would realize that you cannot blame that on any president. A president is not uh, beholden or accountable for which U.S. corporations say, "Deuces, I'm taking my my manufacturing and whatever else overseas."
Right.
Because if you pay attention to how politics work, you would know Congress it approves all of this stuff. They make it okay for companies to do that. So for people to blame the president is just it's misleading, irresponsible, and reckless. Um, and then you gotta understand that it's this billionaire class who who does this type of stuff. Um, just like when Trump was president, Harley Davidson went to China. It's like, wait a minute, this is an American company. Y'all boast about all American, but y'all went to China. Um, so that has to be taken into consideration. And the other thing, when you talk about jobs, um, one of the big issues is companies buying up other smaller companies or companies merging, creating monopolies. And when that happens, jobs are lost. And it's funny to me how people say, "Oh, all these jobs were lost, and it's under this president, this, that, and the other." However, if you look at just our defense companies, we have Boeing, Northrop Grumman, uh, um, can't remember the other one. My point is, back when we were younger, it was like maybe 6, 7, or 8 different defense companies that manufactured fighter planes. We are down to like 3 or 4 because of mergers. And when you merge, jobs are cut. And the other thing about that is, even though they merge into the big 3 or 4 companies, they still are working together to manufacture defense products. And people either do not know that or they conveniently ignore that. And that is a big problem with a lot of companies in America.
Yeah, definitely. Again, it's going back to people wanting to blame uh, our presidents as far as the job market. Again, there are so many things during the course of just 1 year or 6 months that happens out of control of the president. The president ain't got no
Mm-hmm.
control over AT&T or Verizon or whoever. He has no control over that. Um,
Right.
again, things happen. You know, as long as you stay breathing and waking up every day, things are going to happen. And not only does that happen to individual, it happens to companies as well. You know, when they
Mm-hmm.
merge, I don't need two of everything. I don't
Right.
need two presidents. I don't need two vice presidents. I don't need two
Mm.
accountants. You know, I don't need all that. So of course, you know, there are going to be some cuts. Um,
Yeah.
one thing I will say about that is, and again, I had to met this um, Uber driver a long time ago, and he was a
Mm-hmm.
prime example of, you know, the economy and jobs. Things happened to him where he was dang near homeless, but he was able to get back on his feet. And he was telling me how he did it. He was like, you know, I used to work for a company in the executive world where our company merged with another company, and my job was one of the jobs that got cut.
Mm.
He said, you know, I was making well over six figures a year. Uh, you know, I was led a very comfortable life. But he said, when that happened, it threw my whole world, you know, through the washer, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he said I had to learn to adapt. So
Wow.
he had to take on other um, trades, if you will, or he had to sharpen other skills that he had.
Mm.
And basically, at that time, Uber was just one of his gigs. He had like, I
Mm-hmm.
want to say like two other gigs that he said that he did. But he said that's how he was able to get himself out of the hole. He had to adapt to
Mm.
the situation. And I think that's what a lot of citizens of our nation are doing right now. They're having to
Mm-hmm.
learn to adapt because things are not as comfortable as they once were. And
Right.
again, not blaming that on any one particular president or one particular party or our government. Just shit happens, bro. So
Yeah.
again, you just gotta adapt. That's all it is.
Yeah. But still, people have to take that into consideration. Especially that part where you have a decent job, good job. The one thing that you are not going to beat is technology. That's the one damn thing you are not going to beat. You're not going to beat corporate takeovers or any of that. So you definitely have to stay on your grind, stay focused, and change with the times because, um, as we know, as technology comes, fewer people are needed, jobs are being cut, merged, this, that, and the other. And it's just a sign of the times. Everything that we used to watch on TV when we was little was so fascinating. Oh, a robot could do this, a robot could do that. Oh man, look at this, look at that. Not knowing that when that became a reality, that meant less people working in certain things. Like if you look at the car industry, you want to know why so many factories closed? Because they got goddamn robots making cars. There are only a few brands out there that are handmade, but a lot of the heavy manufacturing aspect of that is done by robots.
Yep,
This period
that's it. I mean, one thing we can say, technology is not going to slow down. It's
at
not
all.
going to stop. It's only going to keep continuing to improve and go faster, if you will. Um, but again, I just think with uh, the presidency, again, if you don't vote, that's your right. If you do vote, that's your right. If you don't vote, it's okay to complain, but you can't really complain because you didn't cast your vote.
Yeah,
And if you did cast your vote and your person didn't win, then better luck next time. That's the only thing I can
yeah,
tell you. But again, I'm just not of that mind state. Let me complain when I know I didn't cast a vote. I
yeah.
can again give my opinion, but that's basically it. Complaining is again just you're hollering at the moon. As far as
Yeah.
it's going, you are howling at the
Ow!
you are howling at the moon, bro. So again, I just hope when people vote, and again, whoever you vote for, I hope your candidate wins. Um, I'm just under the mindset of I don't care for either candidate. Either one hasn't uh, impressed me to the point where I feel, God damn it, I got to vote for that one. But again, that's just me. That's one individual. But I would never ever criticize someone else for the party they choose or the candidate that they choose. Again, by all means, vote if that's what you want to do. Don't let anyone influence you and say, because you're in this family, vote Democrat or vote
Right.
Republican. Do your own research. I'm encouraging each individual to do your own research. Don't just vote for them because they look like you. Don't just vote for them because their hair is like your hair or whatever the case may be. Just take a moment for yourself and look at each candidate, look at their policies, what course of action they want to take for our nation, again, as a whole. Um, and that's just all I got. Again, I wish and I pray for our nation that whoever gets in, they take us to a better place than we are now.
Look here. I'm voting for Kamala Harris. One, because she's a woman, and two, because she's a woman of color. And I personally feel like we've never had this in our country, and we have the opportunity to do it. Many countries around this world have had women leaders, and they've done pretty damn good. Um, but outside of that, when I look at the two candidates, neither one of them like make me want to go outside and do cartwheels. They just don't. Um, and I'm okay saying that, but
Right.
I was having this conversation earlier, and I was talking about character. And one of the individuals that was in the conversation was like, "Well, she this and she that and she this and she that and da 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 da." And I'm like, "Okay, that's well and fine. That's your opinion, but you know, there's many layers to a person's character. And when I look at the top two or three layers of a person's character, when I look at her, it's like I see what she's about. I see what she's talking about. I understand it. I can relate to that. But when I listen to this dude, everything that he is saying and doing goes against my character. And I cannot support and I do not want a person like that leading our country. Um, he talks bad about women, he talks bad about people, um, he talks reckless. Um, it's just so like the other day when he said, I'm going to protect women whether they like it or not. It's like, dude, like the hell? Like you just can't do something to somebody for somebody, whether they like it or not, good, bad, or indifferent. If I don't want you doing something for me, I don't care if it's good. If I don't want you doing it for me, don't tell me you're going to do it anyway. Like, help me understand that. Um, for him to talk about her the way he's talked about her is despicable. Like, you're a grown ass man talking down to a woman like that, and people around saying, well, she said this and she said that. Well, she's talking about his behavior. He's directly attacking her. He directly attacked everybody. He just said the other day about Liz Cheney, um, she need to have rifles pointed in her face, and how would she feel if the 9 barrels is trained on her head and this, that. That's like, as a president, that's how you're talking? Like, you know, that and then the dude with the Puerto Rican joke, a floating island of garbage. Oh, I didn't know he was gonna say that. So you just gonna blatantly lie like that? Like you just blatantly gonna lie, and then when you talk to people about that, they say, "Well, the Democrats." Well, no, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about what he just said. The disrespectful stuff that he said. You're okay with that in comparison to how she's talking, So I look at those things when it comes to the person that I would like to see as president.
All right. I mean, um, with that situation, I think it's crazy that again people can get up in front of our nation and speak crazy like that. I don't give a damn if you're a Democrat or a Republican. I don't give a damn if it's a white person or a black person, Chinese, whatever. When you go talking crazy like that, especially about specific groups of people, I definitely don't think you should be put in a position of power.
Right.
Just my personal opinion there. Um, but again, I think that when people get to a certain level, they feel they can say whatever they want to say, and well, oh, I didn't mean it that way. Well, how in the hell did you exactly mean it?
Exactly right.
Like people fail to realize sometimes how smart the citizens of our nations are. And again, I'm not saying all of them.
Right.
No, I'm not saying all of them, but there's quite a few people out here, within our nation that has plenty of common sense.
Hmm.
They know how to read in between the lines, if you will. So again, I just think that it's crazy when again either side talk reckless and don't feel that there should be a repercussion behind that. What are you thinking?
Yeah. Yeah. Wrong is wrong. Like,
Yeah,
yeah. You're not out here talking like that, but you're okay with that person talking like that.
right.
And then you're trying to say, well, no, they didn't mean it this way. Well, why the hell did they say it that way?
Yep,
If you're not going to say that, why are you okay with that person saying that? And this person represents your views.
exactly.
Yeah.
But once again, we want to thank you guys for tuning in to the King and I Life podcast. We're
Yeah.
definitely going to be putting more material out for you guys this upcoming year. Um, as you all know, life happens.
Yeah.
um,
Life happens.
we just haven't been able to get together as often as we like to make this thing happen. But
Yeah.
again,
Life happens.
2024 is on its way out here in a
Woo!
couple more months, and next year we're gonna get back on it and grind and give you guys, the best content that we can. So again, we just thank you for tuning in. We hope again, whoever you vote for me, I hope your candidate wins. That's basically my way of saying I'm sitting my ass on the fence.
Mm.
And again, I don't think there's anything wrong with people voting or not voting, or for those who are undecided right now, just do your due diligence and vote for the candidate that you think will represent you the best. That's about the only way I know to put it. But anyway,
Yeah.
thank you guys for tuning in. Deeply appreciate
I'm not sitting my ass on the fence because I don't want that motherfucker in office.
it.
That's just it right there for me. I
Understood.
just can't. I
Understood.
can't. I can't for the life of me. I gotta think. Yeah. But off of that, yeah, we gonna yeah, the last couple of years has just been busy as hell. It's either timing or just life in general. Like, um, yeah, after this semester, I got 3 more classes and I will be done with my damn degree. So
That's
I
what's
will
up. That's what's up.
definitely have more goddamn time. Um, I have, you know, a little less headache in my damn house. Um, what else? Yeah, I mean, just life has been busy, but at the same time, it's also calming down a little bit.
Right.
Accomplishing goals and just getting through a few things. So definitely things are going to pick back up. I was just thinking yesterday, either yesterday or the day before, about what we can do to get more get a steady momentum going back on a somewhat regular basis, so that
Right.
we can just get it popping again. Because I mean, I do miss doing this. Yeah, I really haven't even been following too many other people's podcasts that much. Yeah, yeah, not much. So hopefully get back in the grind and make some noise and do it bigger and better than before.
For sure. For sure. So you guys heard it here from King's mouth, and you heard it from the Eye's mouth. You know, we'll be back. We'll get back on
Yeah,
it, and
definitely.
you definitely will hear from us more this upcoming year.
Yep. Probably try to get 3 or 4 more in. Nah, I don't know how many we're gonna get in before the year is out, but we gonna get something out. We gonna get something out.
For sure. For sure.
But
So
until then,
this is Sun Soul Lex, and this is my brother.
Soul Toucher, aka the King, and we'll holler at y'all on the next one.
Deuces to the truces.
Peace.